I want to talk about a little about Joesph Pilates.
Oh yeah, okay. Let's talk about. For a long time I took Pilates. It was great. I loved it.
Well, here's an old man in his underpants. But I think
Okay.
that's Joesph
This is
Pilates.
my limb.
But I think there's a lot of misunderstanding of what Pilates is. So you said you've taken Pilates before?
I did take it. It's a great way to get in shape. It builds your core.
Does
I
it?
became also. I'm able to lift things now without killing my back.
Yeah, I think do you know how Pilates was invented?
I'm not really sure. Let's find out.
So Joesph Pilates, who's this guy, I think he was like a circus performer, but he was I think it was during World War II. He got stuck in some like hospital ward. So he was working with all these injured soldiers that were like crippled.
Yeah.
And he actually just used a bunch of springs and stuff and had the soldiers like exercising and rehabilitating themselves in their beds. So he kind of developed his whole method is based on like I think he originally now it's called Pilates, which is just his name, but he called it like controlology. So his whole idea was like you're saying, learn how to actually control your body. So I think even now, like it's really Pilates is like thought of the same thing as yoga, and it's similar, and it's also thought of as like a female thing.
Yeah.
But even I think you're seeing elite athletes actually start to like adopt it.
Yeah.
I think there's a picture that I saw a segment. That's how I first learned about Pilates. Was he was doing Pilates training. He was a MLB pitcher, and he said, "This is the future. In the future, everyone will be doing Pilates."
Yeah.
Because I do think he starts with like you're saying, like how do you actually engage your core to lift things versus heavyweight. And we are fighting the lower back pain industrial complex, and I think Pilates is a weapon that that human beings can use to fight that.
I had back problems before that. After that, I didn't. So
Yeah. So I think it's good. There's all these exercises. I mean, there's floor exercises that you can do in Pilates.
Yeah.
And there's also you can get more advanced, but there's all books and stuff, and there's a reformer machine, which is essentially just like springs. Because essentially what Pilates does is it teaches your muscles not just to be strong, but to also like have full range of motion. So part of the problem of weightlifting is like you get really strong in your muscles, but your muscle also gets very tight and dense. So you can do muscles, but what Pilates is allow your muscles to
stretch.
And stretching, right? So just weightlifting is bad because your muscle gets really strong, but it's not stretched out. And just stretching is bad because your muscle gets really long, but it's not very strong.
Yeah.
Whereas Pilates is good because it gets your muscle in the full range, but then engaging and being strong in the full range, which I think is kind of the innovation. I think you're seeing lots of elite teams start to adopt Pilates I think it helps a lot with like injury prevention, body control.
Yeah, I just I miss that class.
Yeah. It's fun. So I think that's Joesph Pilates. He's just a guy. I think he was a former circus performer, and then he just he trained like martial arts, circus performing, all types of things, and he just kind of created his own system, which I think
and it's good. It works.
Yeah. So it's a tool against the lower back pain industrial complex.
Yeah, really. I hate those industrial complexes.
Yeah, there's lots of them. I think I've started to realize, how it's like almost like our reality is scams within scams.
Yeah, there's certain things I know. Then we get into health and the whole thing.
Well, I mean, one thing that I've been concerned with is so I'm a cashier now, and one of the things I see at a grocery store, and what I see is people cashing out. So I was surprised how many people pay with food stamps.
Yeah.
I think food stamps is a great example. It's the government helping people, right? People don't have enough money, so they're buying them food. But on food stamps, you can buy Pepsi, you can buy Coke, you can buy Hershey bars, which I think it's like a perfect example of like, okay, the government's helping people by helping them buy food, but then it's that program, which is designed to help people, is then allowing them to poison themselves with food, which is then causing healthcare issues down the road, which then the government is supporting.
Yeah.
And so then it made me think like, wait, Coca-Cola and Pepsi, how much do they spend on lobbying? And then how much of their revenue is from people buying food on food stamps?
Yeah.
So it was kind of, then I stopped thinking about it because it's like, oh, this is like kind of a, I think it's a perfect example of like the government has this intention to do good, which is feeding people, but then it's, at the same time, help propping up corporations, but also poisoning people.
Yeah.
That's just kind of one example. I think I could go on a rant against the banking system, but
it could be another show in itself. Yeah. But I'm glad growing up as a kid, we never had pop unless there was like a party. Maybe twice a year we'd have a party and there would be extra pop in the house, and you might drink it.
Well, that's the new scam they're doing is like Coke Zero, which is like this is pop but has 0 calories, and there's no sugar, but it tastes the same. It's like, wait, sugar cane I get is bad for you, but that's natural. What are you putting in this stuff that has 0 calories? So it's like,
it can't be good.
Well, and I think, it's like, I think pop. And I think just our whole food system, right? I think in like our grandparents, they just smoked cigarettes and tobacco because that was like,
Yeah.
oh, we didn't know it was that bad. I think there's going to be so many things that I think people are going to look back. I think
Like,
between
what were they doing? Yeah.
between gasoline emitting cars, between Coca-Cola, but there's going to be so many things that people are going to be like,
Yeah.
what were those people thinking? And
Yeah. And like, yeah.
because even you go to the grocery store and it's even the vegetables are wrapped in plastic. Like you can't really go anywhere and just buy a vegetable.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything. Yeah. Plastics everywhere.
Well, the other scam I thought of was the formula, which is just artificial breast milk. So it's like,
Oh,
what was wrong with breast milk? Like I get it's like women have to feed it and it's physically thing, but it's like this thing that occurs naturally. Then the corporations,
Yeah.
and I think one of my friends they had some baby formula. The number one ingredient was fructose corn syrup. It's like, oh, this is so yeah. It's like I think capitalism does a good job of like finding even things that like vegetables, right? Like food, we have the earth. We could be growing healthy food for free, but somehow capitalism has turned this whole thing where now people. There's a meme of someone that they didn't realize that you could just pick fruit off of a fruit tree and eat it directly. So there's like you're almost creating a culture of human beings that are so detached from the natural environment and natural ways of living and eating that
I know, like in China and Asia, that's normal. You just go to a tree, pick it off, and you eat it. That's what they did. I remember hearing people coming to this country complaining, like, you can't just go. There's not trees around where you can just grab fruit off and eat them.
Yeah, foraging I know is a big thing of like people just going out naturally and but you can't make money off that, right?
Yeah.
If people are just eating vegetables that they grow.
Yeah.
And I've also thought that there's nothing more revolutionary than eating food from your own garden, right? You're just self-sustainable. There's no food system. There's no supply chain that you're interacting with.
Yeah.
But we have 30 seconds left in the show.
Oh, geez.
Does the wizard of Think Twice have any parting wisdom for us and our guests?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
I completely agree with you that the way you eat is a revolutionary statement.
I like that. Yeah, I think there's lots of things. Yeah, if any day that you're because there's been days where I've just been unemployed, just like tending to my garden. I was like, I am literally fighting the system, but I'm not burning anything down. I'm just not spending money, but eating vegetables. And I think that is a revolution. So hopefully it's a peaceful revolution. So